Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here, and I've got another huge report to share with you. This one specifically in regards to, well, the World Economic Forum, a global New World Order organization, and their report that they put out just early this year. This is the Global Risks Report 2017, the 12th edition. You can see it's got my notes there, but we're going to delve through this. And I have read it in its entirety. I skimmed through the last chapter because the last chapter, part 3, is just on technologies, which we're going to get into. But you guys need to read this. You need to know what the New World Order, the globalist-minded people, who they're painting as the bad guy, and just who they might be talking about. So I think the best thing to do is let's delve into this report together. All right, so here we are on the report, the Global Risk Report for 2017, and this is the 12th edition. Now, they have been printing this thing all the way since 2006. They've been having these reports, and the entire purpose of this report is to paint the risks and the problems to global government. What is going to hurt the New World Order? That is really, in a nutshell, what this entire report is about. What obstacles do they have to overcome to implement Agenda 21? Or Agenda 2030? What obstacles do they have to overcome to get a global peace? Because, you know, that's always achievable. Like never. Global peace is impossible until the Lord comes back. But we have the Global Risk Report here. That's what this is about. Now, before I delve in, I want to tell you a few things. Number one, they attack pretty hardcore anything that's anti-establishment. Now, you can see in the upper right-hand corner here, I've typed in anti-establishment. This will tell you how many times the word is found in this document. We're going to have a total of 9 times that this anti-establishment. Why? Because anyone that is against the establishment, they want to target on this report. Another thing that you're going to notice is Donald Trump is in this report 13 times. His name is referenced many times, and his name is referenced, quite frankly, as a problem. So that's something that you'll find interesting. All right. So I just wanted to share that first. So for starters, here's the 12th edition. You can see, first of all, they label changing landscape of international government. That's a problem. Failure of global government. Yeah, there shouldn't be one. Increasing polarization of societies, and as their main problem, increasing national sentiment. That means they don't like nationalists. They don't like patriotism. If you love your country and you're anti-establishment or anti-New World Order, look, I'm not anti-everybody in the government. I think we need to have government, okay, but not corrupt, not one pushing a new world flippin' order, because it never, ever works. Now, let's start first with the executive summary. There's a few things I want to highlight. I've read this report, pretty much all of it, skimmed the last chapter because it's just on technology, and not a big read. It's only 78 pages. But let's start here. The high-profile signs of disruption to what? The New World Global Governance Order may have come in Western countries with the United Kingdom's vote to leave the EU. We're talking Brexit here. And President-elect Donald Trump's victory in the U.S. presidential election. But across the globe, there is evidence of a growing backlash against elements of domestic and international status quo. This is one of their biggest targets. Like I said, Donald Trump's in here 13 times. They don't like it. It goes on to say this points to the need, the fact that Donald Trump was elected and we have Brexit, we have things going on, anti-establishment stuff. It points to a need for reviving economic growth. But the growing mood of anti-establishment populism suggests we may have passed the stage where this alone would remedy fractures in society. What's the remedy? Reforming market capitalism must be added to the agenda. They want to change it altogether. With the electoral surprises of 2016 and the rise of once fringe parties stressing national sovereignty and traditional values. Who's the bad guy that just got painted? National sovereignty and traditional values. Christians, that means you. Catholics, that means you. Pretty much a majority of, the religious community, you've got traditional values. A lot of them do. you're the bad guy. All right, moving on. Across Europe and beyond, the social trends of increasing polarization and intensifying national sentiment are ranked among the top 5 problems. You are a problem to the New World Order. And look, these people that have written this summary, these people that have, they're no joke. We have people like Henry Kissinger, many upper ranks. You can go on the World Economic Forum website. It's always huge events with global governance, governments from all across the world. It's nothing that we should take lightly at all. Here is another challenge, the 5th key challenge, and there's 4 other challenges, again, talking about anti-establishment, but some of this stuff is very repetitious, it repeats, but the 5th one is to protect and strengthen our systems of global cooperation. They want to strengthen the New World Order, right? All right, moving on to page 9. This one here. Here is a section that says the events that happened in 2016, again, talking about the election and the anti-establishment, should serve as a wake-up call and prompt us to reassess our preparedness in the face of risk in landscape. Then it gets into 3 parts that they're going to cover in detail, part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this document. Like I said, I'm not going to be getting into part 3 so much as the other 2 parts, but part 1 draws on the trends and risks highlighted in the latest GRPS to outline the key challenges that the world faces. What are these world challenges? Reviving economic growth, reforming capitalism. And when they say reform capitalism, they are talking reform into socialism. I'll prove it later. Facing up to the importance of identity and community, managing technological change, protecting and strengthening our system of global cooperation, and of course, the environment. Right. Number 2 explores 3 social and political risks in greater depth. The first one covered whether recent political change amount to crisis of Western democracy. And it further goes on that it will highlight the importance of society in mitigating risk and assessment, trends towards the curtailment of civil society organizations' freedom to operate there. And the third just turns towards technology. That's kind of what it is in a nutshell. All right, moving on to part 1 here. Just in the very beginning, it states here at the top, in the West, consensus expectations were defied by United Kingdom's decision to leave the EU, and by Donald Trump's victory in the United States, and by Italian electorate rejection of Matteo Renzi's constitutional reforms. These implications of results such as these are potentially far-reaching. Some people question whether the West has reached a tipping point and might now embark on a period of deglobalization. I say, yeah, let's embark on the period of deglobalization. But the uncertainty and instability that characterized 2016 are not a Western phenomena alone. We saw them in other countries, Brazil, Philippines, and the Turkeys. So now they're not too happy with America because we're entering into a part of, what did they call? Deglobalization. Hallelujah. Anyway, it moves on and it says the World Economic Forum has identified 5 challenges that will require global attention. Number 1, fostering greater solidarity and long-term thinking in market capitalism. They want to redo it. Revitalizing global growth, economic growth, the importance of identity and inclusiveness in healthy political communities, mitigating the risk and exploiting the opportunities of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, strengthening our systems of global cooperation, New World Order. They want to strengthen the New World Order. And I'm sorry if I'm reading through this a little fast. I don't want to keep you 30 minutes here going through this whole report. So sometimes I'll read words rather quickly than I like. So anyhow, here is another section that I wanted to highlight. More fundamental reforms to market capitalism may need to be tackled. In particular, an apparent lack of solidarity between those at the top of national income and wealth distributions and those further down. What does that mean? Well, let's reform capitalism, because we need to reform it into what? Socialism. Socialism is taking and spreading the wealth around. That's exactly what's talked about right here. And look, here's the thing. Maybe they're spreading the wealth around, but they are not talking about their wealth. Hell no. They're talking about your wealth and my wealth. Now, this particular page, I'm going to skip through this section, but it talks all about a crisis, how we are going to go into a crisis with the economy. We cannot sustain low interest rates, pre-crisis boom, concerns here for the market. So this all gets into the economy. We know the economy is crap. We know what's going on, and at least they're admitting it in this document. The combination of economic inequality and political polarization threatens to amplify global risk, fraying the social solidarity on which the legitimacy of our economic and political systems rest. So there's some risk there, evidently. Here's another section. Early analysis by political scientists Ronald Engelhardt and Papa Norris point to the populism behind the victories of Brexit and President-elect Trump as being driven more by demographics and cultural factors than income equality. Okay, you guys, this is going to tick you off. A backlash among older and less educated voters. So if you're old and you voted for Donald Trump and then you're less educated, or not old, you're just less educated, feel that they are being marginalized within their own countries. By changing values in areas such as gender, sexual orientation, race, multiculturalism, environmental protection, and international cooperation. Wow. So if we voted for Donald Trump, we are less educated. Kiss my butt, because that's not true. I know a lot of very well-informed people who voted for Donald Trump. That just ticks me off. Anyway, it goes on to say that there's a stark division between those who support Trump and Hillary. No, Sherlock, I'm not going to say the word, but nonetheless. Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, it says Hillary Clinton, 72% of Trump's supporters call themselves traditional. Yeah, so what? Nothing wrong with traditional values, and 31 of Clinton's supporters have other big differences, including honor and duty are my core value, typical American feminist and supporter of LGBT. Why is that in a category all of its own? It's a view, a political view. You shouldn't just classify honor and duty. So in other words, traditional voted for Trump, honor and duty, and typical American feminist and LGBT voted for Hillary Clinton. They're so full of crap, it's not even funny. All right, scrolling through a couple of pages here, because this kind of just, the rest of part one was a bit redundant, going into how they accomplish what they're going to accomplish, how they want to do what they want to do. But moving on to social and political challenges. Western democracy in crisis. No, we're not in crisis because we elected Donald Trump. We want to get away from your New World Order crap. Let me start here. Rising support for anti-establishment parties. That's you. The recent increase in support and influence enjoyed by anti-establishment populist political parties and movements in many Western countries in the continuation of the trend with long roots. Yeah, it's got long roots because it doesn't work. Anti-establishment populism expresses itself differently in different countries. There are left-wing and right-wing strands, and domestic factors are significant. Let me just say something. Just because you're anti-establishment doesn't mean you're part of the left or right paradigm. It means you're a freaking nationalist. You love your country and you don't want New World Order body of unelected freaking officials ruling over you. It has nothing to do with the left and right, yet they want to paint us in this bad light. Moving on. But there are also common themes, appeals to national sovereignty and criticism that elites have failed to protect. No, they don't want to protect. Electorates from the negative impacts of globalization are threads that run through both left and right wing strands. In many cases, there are also appeals to the right of native citizens as opposed to immigrants and the importance of restoring traditional values and hierarchies. Oh, by the way, this whole thing gets into the immigration thing and well, if you're pro your country, they don't really like that. Now, this section is another one that quite frankly ticked me off, but it talks about free speech. It says free speech and the lively contest of ideals are the fundamental part of the democratic process, but they depend on all participants accepting each other's good faith in a shared set of underlying facts. Which means we all have to agree. No, free speech means we don't all agree. Technically, historically, relatively small numbers of media outlets provided a widely trusted common foundation. However, they're not so trustable anymore, and there are online echo chambers talking about news such as mine and make it easier for the spread of misinformation. As a result, they say it raises serious questions to market capitalism reform, an issue that they discussed in this report and want to continue to discuss. One last part in this section is the conclusion. They say there is room for debate about the extent to which the rise of anti-establishment sentiment in Western democracies reflects a threat to the democratic process itself. They're saying that we threaten the democratic process because we're anti-establishment. No, we don't. No, we don't. We're all for, having good government in our countries and not corrupt crap that they keep trying to push down our throats. So those are the highlights of the first two sections. I'm not going to get into this third one, but one thing that I want to show you while we're here is some of the advancements that they're talking about. Notice this key word right here, geoengineering, which doesn't exist, by the way, right? According to the elite, according to those in government, the chemtrails aren't real. No, the chemtrails are real, and they are discussing it right here, geoengineering, in order to fix Agenda 21 and climate change, right? That's what is in here. They also talk about 3D printing, driverless cars. And why do they want us in driverless cars? Well, for ultimate control. That is talked about in this whole report as well. But that's all I wanted to show you there. So there you have it. These creeps mean business. They don't like you. They don't like nationalism. They want a new world order. They want a one-world government. They want a global government run by a bunch of unelected officials. We don't get any say in who these people are. And they want to rule the world. And they want to implement our laws. And what did Obama say? Let's give up some of our sovereignty in America for this international order. Screw you, Obama. Screw you. I'm sorry to be so harsh, but that's what I mean. We don't need no stinking new world order because it doesn't work. Anyhow, please bring this information to everyone you know. They need to see it. They need to see the tangible evidence. There's such an attack saying, oh, these people aren't real news. Look, we've got the documented evidence. I document it on my channel. Every time I can bring a document, I will. And I'll show you directly from the source so people can't say, oh, it's fake news. No, the only people who are fake are CNN, MSNBC, ABC, and the like, spreading false news online, on television, and beyond. Anyhow, please check out my partner. One of them is becandid.com. This is one amazing one because it's like Facebook. It's got a chat room. It's online and it's anonymous. So it's a way to keep Big Brother off your back. And so I thought, this is cool. There's no fee to join. And as far as I know, they're not going to be charging any at all in the near future. But it's a mobile app. You can put it on your phone. You can also put it on your desktop. I have it on both. Join my group. It's a brand new group, but it's called the News Haven. And it's there on Be Candid. And I do comment on there. I'd love to talk and chat with you guys. So if you join my group. Apparently my dog Diesel, come here, wants you to join my group too, don't you? Say, join Be Candid. I think he just likes the camera, don't you? Look, he looks right at, or it's up here. All right. Anyhow, also, please don't forget to check out my partner at foodforliberty.com/haven. You need to get prepped with food. Look, things are on an unstable path and we cannot continue to not be prepared for such things. So make sure you're stocked and ready to go. Go to foodforliberty.com/haven. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. This is Lisa and Diesel signing out. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.